What would you do if a psychological study could potentially harm its participants, but its findings could benefit society as a whole? Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. The ethical dilemma in psychological research question encapsulates the ethical dilemmas often faced in the field of psychological research. As we navigate the complex terrain of ethics, we'll find that it's not always black and white. Ethics in psychological research is a topic of paramount importance, demanding careful consideration at each step of the research process. While the ultimate goal of any research is to contribute to the body of knowledge, the well-being of study participants should never be compromised. However, there can be instances where these two objectives are at odds with each other, creating a delicate balance that researchers must navigate. This balance is what we'll be exploring in this series. We'll delve into the intricate interplay between societal benefits and individual harm, and the ethical considerations that researchers must bear in mind. So, let's delve into the different aspects of ethics in psychological research and understand why it's crucial. Ethics related to society. Imagine the impact of psychological research on society at large. This is where we delve into the second scene of our discussion, the ethical considerations related to society and psychological research. Psychological research holds a significant influence over societal norms, public policy, and people's behaviors. Every psychological study, every finding, and every theory has the potential to shape society's perception of itself and of individuals within it. For instance, research into cognitive biases can inform public understanding of decision-making processes, while studies on mental health can shape societal attitudes towards mental illness. But with this influence comes immense responsibility. Researchers bear the weight of ensuring their work doesn't perpetuate harmful stereotypes or cause societal harm. This means conducting research with care, precision, and above all, integrity. For instance, if a study is poorly designed or its results misinterpreted, it could lead to the propagation of harmful stereotypes. Imagine a study that, due to flawed methodology, incorrectly concludes that a particular racial or ethnic group is inherently less intelligent than others. Such a study, if published and widely disseminated, could reinforce harmful racial stereotypes and cause significant societal harm. Moreover, psychological research can influence public policy. Studies on the effects of poverty on mental health, for example, can shape social welfare policies. Thus, researchers have the ethical responsibility to ensure their conclusions are accurate and their research methods are sound. If not, the consequences could be detrimental, leading to misguided policies that fail to address the real issues at hand. Additionally, psychological research can directly affect people's behaviors. For example, research into the benefits of mindfulness can lead to an increase in people practicing mindfulness meditation. If the research is flawed, it could lead to people wasting time and resources on ineffective practices. The weight of these responsibilities underscores the importance of ethical considerations in psychological research. It's not just about the pursuit of knowledge, but also about understanding the potential societal repercussions of that pursuit. Now that we've understood the societal implications, let's move on to the ethical responsibilities towards the funders and employers. Ethics related to funders and employers. What responsibilities do psychological researchers have towards their funders and employers? This question brings us to the core of our discussion on ethics related to funders and employers in psychological research. A psychological researcher's ethical obligations to funders and employers are vast, and they are rooted in core principles of integrity, accountability, and transparency. These obligations include, but are not limited to, accurately reporting findings, avoiding conflicts of interest, and maintaining intellectual honesty. Research is a meticulous process, and its findings are the fruits of laborious work. Thus, it is imperative that researchers accurately report these findings. This means they should report the results as they are, without any alterations or falsifications. Misrepresentation of data not only betrays the trust of the funders and employers, but also stands against the very essence of scientific inquiry. Now let's talk about conflicts of interest. These arise when a researcher's personal or financial interests could potentially influence or appear to influence their professional judgment or objectivity. Such conflicts can compromise the integrity of the research and undermine the trust placed in the researcher. Therefore, it is crucial for researchers to disclose any potential conflicts of interest to their funders and employers. Intellectual honesty, another pivotal aspect, ensures that researchers conduct their studies with sincerity and reliability. This not only involves presenting data truthfully, but also acknowledging the contributions of others and respecting the confidentiality and proprietary rights of funders and employers. Transparency and accountability are the foundations on which these ethical obligations rest. Researchers must be transparent about their methodologies, findings, and potential conflicts of interest. They must also be accountable for their actions and ready to rectify any mistakes or misjudgments. In summary, the ethical responsibilities of psychological researchers towards their funders and employers are instrumental in upholding the integrity and credibility of their research. These responsibilities aren't mere formalities, but rather, they are essential components of ethical research practices. Having understood the responsibilities towards funders and employers, it's time to discuss the ethics related to colleagues. Ethics related to colleagues. Opening. How do researchers maintain ethical relationships with their colleagues in the field of psychology? In the world of psychological research, it's not just about what you discover, but also about how you conduct yourself along the journey. One of the keystones of this journey is the ethical relationship between colleagues. Let's start with collaboration. The beauty of research is that it's often a team sport. Collaborative work can bring out the best in each researcher, allowing for a variety of perspectives and expertise. However, this also necessitates an ethical framework. Each member of the team must be treated with respect and their opinions valued equally. This ensures a healthy and productive work environment. Next, we have the respect for intellectual property. Just imagine you've spent countless hours, perhaps even years, on a research project. Then someone else takes your work and presents it as their own. It's not just unfair, it's unethical. In the field of psychology, respecting others' work and acknowledging their contributions is paramount. Which brings us to our next point: fair credit for contributions. In a research project, it's crucial to recognize the work of each member of the team. This acknowledgement can take various forms, from authorship on a paper to being credited in presentations. Giving credit where credit is due promotes a culture of mutual respect and cooperation among colleagues. Maintaining professional relationships is another cornerstone of ethical practice. This involves treating colleagues with courtesy and fairness, avoiding conflicts of interest, and dealing with disagreements in a professional manner. Remember, the goal is to foster an environment conducive to both personal growth and scientific advancement. Finally, the role of peer review in maintaining ethical standards cannot be overstated. It's an integral part of the research process, providing a check and balance system that ensures the research is sound, valid, and ethical. It promotes accountability, transparency, and ultimately, the integrity of the research itself. Closing. Now let's move to the most critical aspect: ethics related to the subjects of research. Ethics related to subjects. How do we protect the rights and welfare of the subjects in psychological research? The answer lies in three fundamental principles: informed consent, confidentiality, and respect for persons. Informed consent is not just about getting a signature on a form. It's about ensuring that the participant fully comprehends the nature of the research, the procedures involved, and any potential risks or benefits. It's about giving them the freedom to participate voluntarily without any form of coercion. Confidentiality, on the other hand, is about safeguarding the personal information of the participants. Researchers must ensure that any data collected is kept secure and private, and that any information released does not lead to the identification of the individuals involved. The principle of respect for persons revolves around the recognition and appreciation of the autonomy of the research participants. This means acknowledging their capacity to make decisions and treating them with courtesy and respect. It also involves providing special protections for those with diminished autonomy, such as children, the elderly, or individuals with mental impairments. Now, let's talk about the balance between harm and benefits. As researchers, our goal should be to maximize benefits while minimizing harm. This means we need to consider the physical, emotional, and psychological impact of our research on the participants and weigh these against the potential benefits to society. We must ask ourselves, are we causing undue stress or discomfort? Are the potential benefits worth the potential harm? Remember, our subjects are not just data points or means to an end. They are individuals with rights, feelings, and dignity. They entrust us with their time, their stories, and in some cases, their well-being. It's our responsibility to ensure that their trust is not misplaced. In the end, ethical considerations in psychological research are not just a set of rules to follow, but a way to uphold our commitment to integrity, respect, and care for our fellow human beings. Finally, let's discuss the standard protocols for checking ethical considerations. Standard protocols for checking ethical considerations. What are the standard protocols in place to ensure ethical conduct in psychological research? Well, one of the key pillars is the Ethical Review Board. These boards assess research proposals to ensure they meet ethical guidelines, safeguarding the rights and welfare of the participants. They are the gatekeepers, if you will, ensuring no harm comes to those involved. Next, we have the process of peer review. This is where fellow researchers scrutinize the methodology and findings of a study before it's published. It's a sort of quality control, ensuring that the research is sound, valid, and reliable. And let's not forget about transparency and replication. Researchers should be open about their methods and findings, allowing others to repeat the study. This replication verifies the results, reinforcing the reliability of the research. Remember, ethical considerations are not just a regulatory requirement, but a commitment to the integrity of psychological research and respect for human dignity. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.